there, grammar splainies. One of you asked me to comment on a kid's book called I Am Jazz. That's after I made this video about the TV show I Am Jazz, reality TV, which is, of course, fiction. And I basically said that it's bad fiction. It's bad comedy.
Let me just take a picture too. Poor thing, you could be a porn star for all the photos we've taken.
It's bad drama.
So graduation's today. The speech that I wrote, it's not the speech that I want to write.
So I read I Am Jazz. It's targeted at 4 to 8-year-olds and it's written in the first person. I have a girl brain, but a boy body. Do kids aged 4 to 8 with no direct experience of gender dysphoria have any idea what that means? Does that mean anything to them at all, in any sense? And what effect does introducing that concept or experience to kids that age have on them? When I was a kid, I was affected by the stories my parents read to me. I was very confused and disturbed that Cinderella just took it. She was being physically and mentally abused, and she didn't go tell the neighbors. She didn't fight back. She just laughed and sang, and she was very kind and cheerful anyway. And she let this injustice stand, and she was a role model. So I guess if someone hurts me, that's what I should do too. Then Hansel and Gretel. Now never mind that evil witch out in the forest who wanted to eat them. What was with this woodcutter dad who took them out into the middle of the forest and abandoned them because the stepmother told him to? Do dads do that? And that just gets us up to the age of 5. Age of 6, we enter Catholic school and start learning about these saints who were into the mortification of the flesh and levitated when they prayed. I'm not kidding when I tell you this seriously messed me up. This disturbed and confused me deeply for a long time. Transgenderism wasn't a thing, it just wasn't around when I was a kid. I don't know how the girl brain, boy body story would have affected me then. So on this issue, I am going to defer to child psychologists and also to parents whose kids were exposed to this book, maybe without their permission. Ask those people whether this book is appropriate for kids age 4 to 8. As a language geek, I'd like to see kids write their own stories without adult interference or control. Just encouragement on, constructing a good narrative or argument and putting it down in writing. Dad, why did you unplug my fan? Besides, it's hot in my room. Do you want me to suffocate? Do you want me to get heat stroke? Do you want your own firstborn son to die? Look at the writing below. What can kill children? 1. Sun. 2. Too much heat. 3. Not watching kids. Dad, this is a warning to you. Love, Ryan. The story of books. I like books. I read them all the time. I like stories of witches and bad things. I read them at school and at home. I also like popcorn, hee hee. I like all kinds of stories of bad witches. I like books because I read them and started to like them. How Grandma Got Daphne. Once upon a time, a very, times 100, pretty grandma lived in a sandwich-shaped house. She lived in the biggest city in the world. It was called Chips. One day she was bored, so she decided to go into the woods to pick flowers. She snapped her fingers. Then a salad-shaped carriage appeared, and she was wearing a cat dress with a cat mask on too. She looked like a real cat. And in the carriage there were a lot of sandwiches, and she ate them all. When Grandma got out of the carriage, she started to pick flowers right away. She was in her own world. When she finally stopped and looked around, she realized that she was lost. She started wandering through the woods. Then she heard a voice that said, "Mew." When she looked around, she saw a gray kitten playing in the flowers. She loved the color gray, so she picked it up. She said to the kitten, "I'm lost." To her surprise, the kitten nodded its head and led Grandma back home. She decided to keep the kitten and she named it Daphne. The end.